It was past midnight in Jerusalem. The city was quiet but not peaceful. There's something different about nights before history changes. The air feels heavier. The silence feels like it's watching you. And on this night, they came for Jesus, not with swords drawn in battle, not with an army, but with whispers, torches, betrayal. In the Garden of Gethsemane, outside the city walls, Jesus prayed alone. His closest friends, the disciples, couldn't stay awake, but he knew what was coming. According to the Gospels, especially in the accounts of Gospel of Matthew and Gospel of Luke, he wasn't afraid of death. He was afraid of what it meant. He prayed so intensely that his sweat fell like drops of blood. That's not poetic exaggeration. There's a rare medical condition called hematidrosis, where extreme stress causes blood vessels to burst into sweat glands. Imagine the terror. Because Jesus wasn't just facing execution, he was facing something darker. Then came Judas, one of his own. A kiss in the darkness, that was the signal. Soldiers stepped forward. Torches flickered against olive trees. Metal clinked softly in the cold air. And Jesus didn't run. They arrested him quietly. But what happened next is where things get unsettling. He was taken before religious leaders, then handed over to the Roman governor, Pontius Pilate. Pilate didn't want to execute him. History records that even Pilate found no crime worthy of death. Yet the crowd screamed, "Crucify him!" And here's where the horror begins. Roman crucifixion wasn't quick. It wasn't merciful. It was designed to break a human slowly, publicly, painfully. They whipped him first. Not a simple lash. A Roman flagrum, leather straps embedded with bone and metal. Each strike tearing skin. Each blow designed to expose muscle. By the time they were finished, most men didn't survive the walk to the cross. But Jesus did. They forced a crown of thorns onto his head. Not symbolic little thorns, spikes, pressed into skin, mocking him, King of the Jews. Then they nailed him to wood. Hands, feet. Life did between earth and sky. And then, something happened. At noon in the middle of the day, darkness fell. Not clouds, darkness for 3 hours. The Gospel of Mark describes it plainly. The 6th hour had come, and darkness covered the whole land. Think about that. An execution. An innocent man, and the sky goes black. Roman historians later recorded unusual darkness around that time. Some say it was an eclipse. Others argue it couldn't have been, because Passover happens during a full moon when solar eclipses are impossible. So what was it? And then Jesus cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Not a whisper, a scream. The earth shook. Literally, the ground trembled so violently that rocks split open. In the temple, miles away, a massive curtain separating the Holy of Holies tore in two, from top to bottom. That curtain was nearly 60 feet tall. Tearing it by human hands would have been impossible. Roman soldiers, hardened executioners, stood beneath the cross. One of them looked up at Jesus and said, "Surely this was the Son of God," not because of faith, because of what he just witnessed. And then Jesus died. But that wasn't the end. They buried him quickly before sundown. A massive stone sealed the tomb. Roman guards posted outside because authorities feared one thing, that his followers would steal the body. 3 days later, the stone was moved. Not rolled slightly, moved. The guards were gone. The tomb was empty. And over the next 40 days, hundreds of people claimed to see him alive. Not just close followers, crowds, skeptics, even enemies. One of them was Saul, a man who hunted Christians, who later became known as Paul. He went from executioner to believer, willing to die for what he said he saw. And that's where the story stops being just religion and starts becoming mystery, because mass hallucinations don't work that way. Roman authorities never produced a body, and frightened fishermen suddenly became fearless preachers, willing to be tortured rather than deny what they witnessed. Something happened. Whether you believe it was resurrection or something we still don't understand, that night and the days after changed the world forever. Empires rose and fell, but the name of Jesus never disappeared. And here's the unsettling part. They tried to silence him. They crucified him publicly. They sealed him in stone. They guarded the grave, and still 2,000 years later we're still talking about him. After midnight.